Hey buddy, it's really good to see you striking it as well as you were with the irons now. But looking at the putting, just a couple of things regards setup. As you mentioned in the lesson, your putter does have loft on it, okay? So if the putter is leaning back just a smidgen, sort of leaning a bit more towards your trail leg, you're going to be adding loft to that putter. As we could hear on the indoor putting green, if that ball jumps off the club face, you're going to get this kind of like bump, 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 bump sort of rolling system. And if the ball is not hit absolutely perfectly, the chance of that ball rolling and bouncing straight is going to be literally zero. So you'll hit some putts that sort of jump up in the air. Your distance control is going to be very, very hit and miss. Sometimes that ball's going to jump and land quite softly. Sometimes it might skid across the green. So yeah, trying to judge pace is going to be really, really tough. So in terms of your setup, just like to see a little bit more of a kind of a line down here through your lead arm and the club shaft. Just putting that shaft a little bit forward lean. So you're using a sort of 2-3 degrees loft of the putter and making it sort of like 1 to 2, which would be enough to just get that ball jumping enough to clear the first bit of grass in front of you, and then rolling more truly on the ground. I think it'd be worth every now and then, maybe just once a month, hitting a few putts in the indoor putting green from corner to corner and just listen out for that sound. You could definitely hear the difference when that ball was being jumped up in the air, sort of da-da-da-da-da on landing, and then you get that roll after. We're trying to hear for that kind of smooth, sort of like humming sound with the ball rolling across the carpet there, which I don't think you really hear on a normal putting green on grass. So it's always worth using that indoor thing for that purpose. As I said, finger-wise, I'm not a massive fan of that finger down the shaft. If we could just try and get it to sit underneath a little bit, I think that would be preferred. Just for me, extending that right finger is going to sort of tension up the muscles in your forearm here. Can create a little bit of a flicking sort of motion. But once you've got that club forward better, as we could see, the stroke now you can indicate with that lead arm and the club shaft all staying together nicely. Back to the golf ball, all as an extended one line there. There's no kind of flick with that wrist. The structure now is coming from the shoulders, the chest, the torso, all moving as one. Nice kind of pendulum action there, okay? Whereas this one here, with the hands behind the golf ball, it just created a little bit of sort of scooping kind of sensation. So sort of post-impact here now, we can see sort of this breakdown here of your left wrist, the forearm and the shaft, just a little bit kind of scoop slightly, and obviously the loft of that club now going to be increased, which we said can make it very, very difficult to judge distance. So if we can get that shaft angle just leaning forward just a smidgen, and I think as much as we said in the session, putting practice isn't always the most exciting. If we could spend sort of just 5-10 minutes perhaps doing that leapfrog game, just working on some of your distance control games, just to improve the outcome of your pace putting or your long distance putting, even if it means just saving 1 or 2 shots around, it's going to make a massive difference, I think, to your confidence, A, when you get onto the green, and B, it will take a lot of pressure off the approach play, knowing that you don't have to hit the golf ball inside 15-20 feet to avoid a 3-putt. You could hit the green 25, 30, even 40 feet and still feel fairly confident about 2-putting. So work at that setup, get that armour, say, in the shaft a little bit more in line, so the handle of the club is just leaning forward a smidge. Club now in the middle of the club of the feet, as we can see, and then just a question of just practicing that stroke, getting that real consistent strike, good ball roll, get that ball starting on line, and hopefully with a bit of practice there, Hugh, that putting stats will start improving. So hope that all makes sense. Any questions, obviously give me a shout, and I'll catch you soon. Cheers, buddy.